Welcome everyone to some more Maplestory. And today, instead of grinding for some EXP to get closer to the next level, I'm gonna be doing something different, and that is trying to fill out more of the monster collection today. And I have 555 in out of 1,167, so... And obviously I'm gonna be doing the ones I'm able to get. So oh gosh, lag. Like something like this, for example. Just easy stuff that I could do, and while I talk about a bunch of stuff as well. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do today. I already did my usual EXP grind on my own time last night. As you could tell from the progress bar compared to last time. I think last time was about 53% or something. And now I'm at 61%. So yeah, I spent a lot of time doing that. Most of it just had to do with this. Trying to get more into Rock Spirit, and that it distracted me enough to not pay attention to how much EXP I was actually getting. So yeah. I really can't wait for more of these. These are so nice. They're so useful. Oh. So I did that already. And, yeah. So I'm gonna be doing that today. First off, I actually need this skill. Where... Oh. Okay, which should I remove for now? Okay, that's a good question. What should I take off for the time being? Maybe this. Because I need to actually link this particular skill. There. Okay. Okay, double checking. Okay, so the chancing adds to the monster collection. And also to put my bunny follower away, because I don't want the follower to collect all the stuff that drops from the low level enemies. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get started. So, I obviously had to look through this to make sure which enemies I should go for first. And Victoria Island will be what I'm gonna do, first. However I get there. I will say I am tempted to continue EXP grinding, but I did so much last night and yesterday that I'm it's nice to take a break. Also, it's not like I'm rushing to get to 270 because I want to see Nikki again. Totally not. T-Boy, if none of you are aware. Okay. What's a good map? Oh yeah, and also, as I probably brought up, I already got the entries from the Grandis starter regions for other characters. Because that's when I noticed, what was it again? That's when I noticed, the monster collection was updated, and that's when I switched to all my characters to get all that. Also, I wish there's an easier map to find these things. Because I don't think there's an easier map. Pig is one of these, right? Should be. Oh, that's not it. Yeah, pig. Oh gosh. Everything on my desk. From what I know with the monster collection, and I did mention this the last time I did a stream on it, which was, when I checked, almost a year ago. That was the last time I did something like this. Yeah, so basically from what I know, basically the lower the level, the easier it is to get. So that's why it's get the lower level enemies first, and then the higher level enemies. The ones that I'm able to get, obviously. How many times have I said obvious in this stream already, and it's only been like 5 minutes? Anyways, yeah, this is the entire stream. So, it is a process. I do wish I know where another map is. Huh. Okay. But anyways, I'm so glad I did find an easier way to level up in this game. Well, I mean, it's pretty much the same method, like, as I've done many times already. But I didn't realize that the daily quest in, you know, to get the Sparks of Determination, I did not know that you could get EXP from those. And, oh my gosh, if I knew sooner, I would have probably been level 275 by now. Wait, no, 257, not 75. I doubt I would even get close to level 275, if I had to be honest. I wish that's the case though, because I do want to do all the high-level story zones so much, like the storylines. Really wanted to get there and do those storylines. Oh yeah, I just reminded myself, I haven't truly watched a video on the Odium storyline yet. I did read the translations, like the fan translations before Global, and saw bits and pieces of the Odium storyline, but I didn't officially just sit down and watch it yet. I should, because like, I have not seen like the entire thing like play out properly yet. I mainly saw bits and pieces because I did want to know, like, well, not really know, because like obviously it would have to be like announced, confirmed, whatever. But I wanted to hear like the voice acting in it, because I saw that in the Korean version there's voice acting. And since like every storyline now that has voiceover is getting like you know, English dub. Mainly if it's the Korean, oh, I got the entry. Anyways, mainly if it's like from like the Korean Maplestory server. Because I know the non-GMS stuff, I mean not non-KMS stuff is I know the non-KMS content doesn't get dubbed, is what I'm trying to say. But the ones from Korean Maplestory do, so. Okay. Next up is this way. Anyways, I was just like curious of voiceover, because like Senya and Laha have like voice actors, and I was like, I want to hear their voices. So yeah, it's like the amount I checked from the videos. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I definitely didn't watch the entire videos. Like, I only just skipped to parts of it just to hear the voices of the characters for the first time. Wait, what am I doing? Ah! Anyways, yes, so, yeah, that's... I gotta watch the entirety of Odium. I think I also wanted to wait before I did so, because I think when I watched it, it was like recorded from the test server, so it was like obviously the like how do I put this? Like, okay, how do I put this better? So it was before Odium was officially released in the servers of Global. But at least two people I've seen were able to record it. But one didn't have audio, but the other one did, so, but really low volume, so. Yeah, and also, I did kind of want to wait for it to be in the actual server because, you know, not many people recorded it and, you know, want to get clear quality. Like, yeah. Basically, when I first watched the Corot storyline, like, the first video I've seen was, like, the one of the first uploaded from the global server. And the volume was so low, I had to raise my computer audio, like, above, like, 50 to hear it, I think. Which is very rare, because my computer audio at volume 2, it's already pretty loud, so it's like... like, that was how quiet the video was. But I still watched it. I just had to pause a lot just to read the dialogue that wasn't voiced to myself. And, oh yeah, and it was the video clip I shared on one of my streams at one point, because I really wanted to share to you guys Nikki's monologue because it was that good and got me so emotional. Gosh. Nikki's voice actor did an amazing job with that entire scene. Because, oh my god, it hit me in the emotions, so much. I remember, like, I did come across more Corot videos, like, to see, like, to hear, like, better of the audio. And one of them I've seen was, like, someone was commentating, well, not, like, really reading the dialogue, but kind of playing through it, and they were there talking as well. And even that person got emotional from the whole scene at the end, too. So just knowing that whole scene got a lot of us emotional is incredible. I like thinking about that a lot. Like, that moment, like, overall just made me really like Nikki. It makes me hope that he comes back alive and that he didn't actually, you know, perished at the end of the storyline. The Corot storyline. Yeah, I know I say this so many times in my streams, but I just really want that to happen. Because I really like Nikki, and I feel like there would be... like, I feel like if just like Kozim, like, he kind of like, has his own free will again and can go against, like, his dad, like the potential, like, it'd be so interesting. Well, so interesting to see happen. I feel like the chance is likely with Senya, but I kind of want to see Nikki more in this, in the heel face turn role. Yeah, I feel like I just think about this way too much to the point that I'm like, I kind of want to write a fan fiction on it. But I'm not one to really write fan fiction. I am writing stories, but I'd rather write more for my original characters than anything that, like a fan fiction. So I'm like, no. Oh, my throat. Okay, I am doing this correctly, right? It is this thing. Oh my gosh, the chances are so low. Which is strange, because these are low-level enemies. And I'm just mainly saying this because it didn't take long to get the entries for the Grandes starter locations. Like, it only took like an hour total for those characters, but now it's just like taking a bit longer than like how long it took to get one. Oops. Maybe do this. Get area attack. That'll probably help a little bit. Yeah, I think... Okay, there we go. Yeah, I think... Yeah, I should probably make use of my other skills so this process can go a little bit faster. Because now that I think about it, that is probably why progress got faster in that case, because I actually used a lot of the area of effect skills that the characters have, so... Like, that's why. I really do want to be level 270. Or just like a really high level in general. I just wish that there's an easier way to experience the story. Oh my gosh, I keep pressing the wrong button. Anyways, as I was saying, I do wish there's an easier way to like... Or like the devs kind of come up with a way to like let us still experience the story. Like, the replay feature is nice because like... Actually, to be fair, like I think the replay feature is like enough to satisfy like story enjoyers. Although, I do wish it's easier to get to the level to unlock the story. So, that's what I mean. But like the Maple Chronicle, it's nice that you don't have to force yourself to level to a ridiculous high level for other characters just to experience the unique stuff from that character. Of course, the Aftermath day after cutscenes have yet to, you know, be like replayable, but that is planned for the future according to what I've heard from Korean Maplestory, so hopefully that does happen, because I would like to see all the Aftermath cutscenes. Oh, I already got the entry. But I'd like to see all the things, so... Let's see. What's next? Okay, I need to make sure I know. Oh gosh, my foot. Ow. Oh, there's... No, that's not what I meant to do. No. I was trying to look at the thing, not activate the navigator. No, why is it not... Cancel, please. Okay, so... Got buttons, please. Oh, I still have these. Okay. Let's go do that first, since we're pretty close. Okay. Moving on to the next area. To double check, it is... Okay. Again, we're doing the easier enemies first, because those have a higher chance at getting the monster collection thing than the other things. Gosh, my throat. Yeah, my throat's just acting up lately, and it's because of allergy season, which sucks, because allergy season is annoying. But what can you do? Now that I'm in this, like, area again, I just remind myself of, like, when I played Pathfinder. Obviously, the character in this game. And the fact that, like, reading the dialogue ached my throat so badly. And, because there was so much reading and no voice acting, other than, like, a cutscene. So, it really messed with my throat to read everything during this storyline. Gosh, I keep pressing the wrong key. I do enjoy the Pathfinder class character in this game, but reading the story was like, I enjoyed the story, but actually reading it was very tiring because it actually made my throat feel worse. Because there was so much more reading to do than the other classes in the game. Gosh, my feet. Ow. Good thing that I don't have my little follower on this character right now because I don't want to pick up all these items. There we go. Another one. Wait, where is the Night Glimmer Fox? Is it over here? No. There's sparrows. Huh. Now that I think about it, I don't know where those enemies are. I gotta check. Okay, we already got these 2 entries. Okay, where to go? Okay. Low-level regions, we're not going to the high-level ones. Yet. Should probably mention high-level ones later, low-level ones first. Super Mega Scania. Okay, seems like someone's streaming according to the game chat as well. To keep checking because I need to make sure I am like going to the right locations. Yeah, where are these ones? Oh, now I know. It's the theme dungeon area. Okay. Oh, and I already got the entry. Yay. I was like trying to remember. It's like I could have sworn I've seen those. It's in the Is this different? Okay, it's different. Oh my gosh. I'm not keeping track of all this correctly. There's just too much to think about that I'm trying to... Oh, that was quick. Oh yeah, and some of these just go by so quickly that it's like, yep, there it is. Okay, we just keep going and we still get the other things. At least we have some nice relaxing music playing. Oh yeah, that just reminds me. So obviously I brought up Octopath Traveler 2 and how I've been playing that game. Well, there's also something I forgot to mention. And it's related to a side quest I did in that game. Where I randomly started it. I knew there was one based on a minimap, but I didn't know I started by taking this item from a person. And when I did, it was really strange. And then I found the location where I'm supposed to take it. And that location was so unnerving. It actually gave me chills. Like, I'm not kidding. I actually was like so unsettled. Because I went to the area, there was no music at all. No music playing whatsoever. And I'm just like, it It was scary. And when I got into, like, combat with enemies in that game, like, in that area specifically, it actually kind of spooked me a bit because I was like, ah, what the heck? Like, I was actually, like, scared in that entire area. So I was, like, so careful with how I'm navigating it because I'm like, oh, please don't terrify me. Please, no. Yeah, it was pretty scary. It's the one part of the entire game that was so unnerving. Next to, like, this one other location. Although the other location, it's less scary and more depressing. I guess the scary location was also sad considering, like, the state of the place that you, like, see in the game. And the fact that, like, there's, like, NPCs, but you can't interact with them because if you try to go to one of them, they're just gone. Yeah, it was pretty scary. Yep. And also, oh yeah, and also, speaking of which, related to that quest, I don't know when it appeared in the game, but I think after you complete that quest, you find this journal, which I did find in the game, and it sort of details, like, the events that led up to what happened to that place, and I was like, oh, like, based on the writing, I could tell how scary it was, because I'm like, that is terrifying of a situation. And also the fact that, like, the words cut off at the end, and obviously you could tell pretty much what must have happened right after. It was it was terrifying. Oh yeah, I didn't do this place yet, by the way. Because I got lazy and it was really weird. I should probably actually do this quest line. I think I mainly just didn't do it because, like, I just wanted... Like, at the time, I was trying to do my dailies, but then the quest kind of, like, interrupted me, in the middle of all that, so... Ah, here we go. Anyways, yeah, that was... As I was saying about Octopath Traveler 2, that was one scary location that actually scared me. In the game. It mainly just gave me chills because it was like... Because, you know... And also the end of the quest as well, I was like, oh gosh, what is this? It's so sad. I like just knowing the story too, though. It's just like, aw. Okay, now that I just remembered something that I didn't actually mention last time, but I wanted to mention it because I kind of thought about it before the stream, but I forgot to bring it up because, yeah. But, like, so, oh yeah, and also another reason why I didn't is because I wanted to make sure I was right with what I was thinking. So, obviously, everyone, well, if anyone actually cares, like, Genshin Impact's next update is next week. It's update 3.6. There's new characters, Baisho and Kabe, but they won't be playable until, like, Phase 2, because that's when the banners will be released. And I forgot to mention, so like now we have like Baisho and Kabe's voice actors announced from the English cast, and I had to make sure of this because I thought I slightly misremembered. But it's a little something interesting is that Alhaitham and Kabe's English voice actors voice like wielders of One for All from the My Hero Academia English dub. Like that's something I've noticed when I like look like how do I put this? Like I saw the credit for like from like checking a page related to Kabe's voice actor. And I remembered an announcement, like, around the time the My Hero dub got to that point. And I was like, if I remember correctly, did they both voice, like, wielders of, like, the voice actors both voice wielders of One for All, right? And, yeah. And I find that information interesting and really cool. And reminding me that I should really catch up with the My Hero, anime at some point. I haven't because lately I haven't really been watching anime because I've been busy. Like the last anime I watched when I was like not busy at all was Chainsaw Man, and that was really the anime is really cool. Like Mappa Studio like did such a good job with how the show looks. Honestly, they're a really great, like, animation studio. Obviously, a lot of them are great. Yeah. Also, what am I doing? Okay, let's see. Oh gosh, cord, no! Anyways, as I was saying, a lot of animation studios are great. But like Mappa, like, since like that studio's been talked about a lot more recently, like their animations are insane. Like, because like, they have a style where it's like 2D and 3D. Like, which is, like, common that you see in animes where they kind of use 2D and 3D. But, like, the way they... But, like, for Mappa Studio, like, some of their animations, you'll think it's 3D animation. But it's actually 2D, and that's, like, incredible. Okay, I realize this is a little bit of a higher level, but I kind of want to do this. Okay, it's the regular one. Anyways, as I was saying, yeah, the last anime I watched when I had enough free time was Chainsaw Man. And I really want to get back to watching more anime, but I'm still busy. Hopefully, like, when my classes are done by next month, I should have the time to watch some animes again. Because there's a few of them I really want to watch. Like, a good number of them. I don't know how many. Definitely quite a few, like... at least like 2 or 3 I can name from the top of my head. But I think there's more of them that I want to check out. I just can't remember which ones they were, unfortunately. One of them is obviously an anime that people have been talking about a lot, because, like, since it started airing. And also its, like, final episode was released as well. So... yeah. Ah, there we go. Entry. Another one. Where should I go next? I guess, could get that real quick. Should be quick and easy, to do this one. You know, one thing about these enemies that I remember from old Maplestory is that these enemies were annoying to defeat. Although, I think the reason they were annoying to defeat is when I was like... My gosh, I've been playing Maplestory for so long. Like, I first played Maplestory in 2009. Like, back in, like, July or something. Like, at least, like, 2 weeks before Sickness Nights were first, released into the game. But, like, I think that it was actually around December when... Like, later in the year was when I started... Wait, what was my account? Like, September, I think? When was, the character Aaron, like, released? I don't remember, but basically it's like, that's when I played Maplestory again, I think. My gosh, I still remember the old character selection screen, guys. I still remember it. Because if I remember correctly, the old selection, like around the time like we got our first Maple Legend hero released, like, you had the button for, like, selecting Explorer, and also the button for selecting Cygnus Knight, and also the button to select Aron. That is... Oh my gosh, that makes me feel so old. Gosh, I've been playing Maplestory for so long. It's insane to think about. I've been playing Maplestory for a very long time. What else? Oh yeah, I was talking about these enemies. So yeah, these enemies were annoying when I was like, back in like when I was playing Maplestory very early on in my time. Because like, I remember I first encountered these enemies. And something to mention with like old Maplestory is that like, back then, enemies were very tough. Or rather, it's more like our damage wasn't that tough. And, like, that strong. Oh, there you go. Like, enemies weren't that strong, and... Okay, gotta make sure. Huh. Okay, I think I want to go to... Yeah, here we go. Okay, these are the next enemies I'll get for the entry. As I was saying, like... Oh, got one of them. As I was saying, so yeah, I think let's talk about the old Maplestory. Yeah, I feel old thinking about it. Gosh, I've been playing... Like, okay, my account is actually since September, but I first played the game, like... on my brother's account, and that's why I say a lot of times that I played when, like, around, like, June, July, whenever, like, a couple weeks before Cygnus Nights released. Like, that's when I played, for the very first time. And I will say I never had, like, a proper main in this game. Because I always played multiple characters, and I never stuck to one character, at all. thinking about... Oh my gosh, so much about old Maplestory. Oh, I just remembered what I was talking about before. So yeah, the enemies were tough. Yeah, and also old Maplestory, like, leveling was so slow. To the point that, like, as people put it back then, it took like a month to level to, like, to reach level, what was it? Level 30. Yeah, okay. Oh my gosh. Yeah, like, it used to take, like, for example, a month to get to level 30. And... yeah, thinking about stuff back then, yeah, it's insane. That, like, it used to be so difficult to level to 30 back then. Also, what else? I'm trying to think of something else I remember from old Maplestory. I think, like, for the most part, I did manage to level past 30, like, pretty easily. But I think when trying to get to level 60, it was so much more of a challenge than I expected. And I think that was the level, like, I think level 59 or 67? I don't, actually not past 60. Actually don't remember. It's been so long ago that I don't actually remember. Thinking about it makes me feel kind of old now. Because, I've been, like, I've been playing this game for years. Like, extremely on and off. Because, you know, I did, like, kind of stop playing the game for a time and then come back and then all that. Yeah, so much happened with, like, Maplestory, like, throughout the years. Oh yeah, and this year alone, it's already been 20 years since this game has existed. And I think, you know, now that I think about it, is Maplestory the longest running game out there now? Like, or is there something else? I think there is, but I actually don't know too many games. Even the most popular ones I wouldn't probably know, so. And what I mean is, like, games that are, like, you know, like Maplestory, like MMO, and have existed for, like, years. Not like the franchise existed or anything. Okay, the entry does not like me. Pretty sure I don't have this one yet. I don't. Oh! It's because it's a... that's why it's not giving me it. Because I can't get it. Yeah, for the... you know, the elite monster, I literally cannot get those. Because I'm way too high of a level. Let's get the ones that we're actually able to get. And not through, that. So, yep, there we go. I didn't notice. Ah. Okay, am lazy to walk like a few inches, so let's just do this. Oh, there we go. Now we're getting these kind of quickly. And we're getting all the ones that we can get, with the exception of, well, obviously the 3-star ones. Oh yeah, and also, you know the little, like, monster bloom things that we get? Like the little monster blooms, like, from what I know and did check, like, those only give up to rarity 3. So, like, for bosses and all that are rarity 4, you actually have to get those from the bosses themselves. Which is unfortunate. Especially since some of them are, like, party quest related. And, obviously, you know, with this game, no one really, you know, does party quest anymore, which is, you know, a thing. Unfortunate, but it's the truth. Yeah, so some of those are impossible because not anyone does the party quests anymore. It does suck, but what can you do? Also, let me check. Let's go to different area. Oh, let's go to the 2 area maps from here. Oh, there we go. Got this one. Oh, let's go to the next area. Oh gosh, my foot. Ow. I gotta stop sitting on my legs. Whenever I stream, I do that because, like, I don't like having my legs on, like, my feet on the floor. Because it doesn't make, like, I just don't like it. Okay, this should be quick and easy. I am also avoiding using my area of effect skill, the spotlight. Because, you know, the music changes and I like to keep the music. I'm only ever using it when I'm actually EXP grinding, so we don't have to hear something unrelated spawn. Okay. Should be getting the entries soon. You know, I kind of want to keep thinking about old Maplestory again, so I'm trying to think of new topics to talk about. You know, now that I think about it, because like recently the subject of leveling up in this game was brought up, it kind of reminded me of like, because like I saw someone's own progress with when they reached level 200, then 250, then 275, and like for this character, I created this character specifically in 2013, when Angelic Buster was released in the game. And it took me 3 years to get to level 200 because I wasn't much of a, like, was able to, like, EXP grind and all that much. And also, remember that this was also a time when it was still difficult to get to level 200 for most people. Now it's easier, but back then it wasn't. So that's why it took 3 years for me. And also, I didn't really have the dedication. And if I'm right, it was also before 5th Job was released in the game. Okay, is this another one where I can't get the thing and I didn't pay attention? No? I can get this one. Why is it taking a bit? Oh, there you go. Right when I was about to, like, ask. But yeah, I created this character in 2013 on the day that Angelic Busters were first released. And what else? Oh yeah, and I got to level 200 sometime in 2016, so 3 years. I think it was like 3.5 years when I actually got to that level on this character. And level 250 was only a few months ago. Like, we can check right now. Oh yeah, and also the achievements say otherwise because it recorded a different character getting to level 200 because this achievement system was prior to was sometime after 2016. So the very beginning of 2020 was when I got to 220. 230 was 6 months, almost 7 months later. 240 was however many months. Then, but from 240 to 250, oh my gosh. Yep, you could really tell I haven't really played the game much. And then 255 was recently. And then 260, hopefully this year. Someone managed to at least get to 275 from 250 in like 8 months or something. I don't know, their achievement was like August 2022 and then like... It was like, I think March of 2023 when they got to 275. And I'm like, how... Not really how, it's more like, what dedication to grind for so many hours just to get to that level. And here I am with this character who will still take a while to get to the next level of. Of course, some people be like, well, you could EXP grind today, but I already did so much last night. I didn't want to do any more, like, at the moment, so that's why I decided to do this stream today. But based on the rate I'm going at, I think I'll be able to get to, 260 by, sometime this year, so hopefully that happens. I really want to be the next level so much. Although it's not just about the next level, it's just about like getting to like level 260. And then level 270. Huh. Yeah, I feel like you know, I'm thinking about it now, and I feel like the EXP curve between 260 and 270 will actually be decreased at some point. Oh, there we go. Oh, we got all the entries here. Okay, let's go to Perion. Oh gosh, that scared me. I forgot that was there. Oh, whoops. I pressed the wrong button. Please, no. Oh. Oh, that's awkward. Leave. Please, leave. Why is it... Come on. We need to be in a map where no one is here. Because, that's awkward. Because people do need this area to level up and stuff, so I'm just, like, here just to collect the monster stuff. Yeah, totally not unusual that a level 255 character is, doing this. Like, going to this low-level map at all. Well, when there's no explanation, it is a bit unusual. You know, something interesting about the EXP bar is that when it was changed to look like this in the UI, for some reason this EXP bar looks more satisfying to me. Because when you see the progress like increasing on it, like it's really nice to see. Also, I just reminded myself, you know, like, I remember I saw a comment like this with, like, you know, people trying to get, like, to, like, level 275 or whatever. But, like, I remember seeing a comment where it's like, what? Why are people so dedicated to get +5 a stat point every level? And I'm like, this person is unaware by the fact that, like, it's not about the stats. It's just about it's just about getting that level now, not the stats. Because if it was, that'd be a bit concerning, honestly. It's like, I don't think anyone levels up their characters just for stat points. So, like, at least, like, at this point in the game, so. Like, early on, it makes sense, but when you're, like, this ridiculously high level, it's, like, unnecessary. But yeah, I will say at one point, like, an alternative... Oh, I got a completion stamp. It was like an alternative of how I could do this, like, whole thing is, like, just, like, you know, level my small, like, low-level characters. Oh, there you go. But, like, the reason I don't is because of the fact that, Oh, wait, let me go check something. But, like, the fact that I don't is simply because, Wait, where is the enemy? I'm trying to find the enemy. Huh, where is it? Okay, I'm definitely missing it, but where is it? Am I missing it completely, or is it not? Oh, no, it's here. It's here. Okay, yeah. I was trying to look for this enemy. Okay. I'm just blind, even though I wear glasses. It's kind of... Okay. What was I talking about before this? I know I was talking about the level up stuff, but I think at this point it's like, I'm already like, mostly done talking about it, so... Also, do I have... No, we could try... Oh yeah, the thing about these bosses is that, like, you have to be very lucky. I'll worry about that another time. I don't want to try to, like, the monster collection for bosses on stream. I mean, I can, but when I got one of them, it took me about, like... How long did it take me? Like... I think it took me about, like, maybe 30 minutes, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that on stream. I mean, I can, but not now. I'll probably save it for, like, the more difficult, things. Okay, I'm not gonna mess with runes, because, no. Only if it's necessary, because I do like getting tiny bits of EXP, even if it's literally not that much. Oh, I was just trying... I think I remember what I was talking about. I was, like, thinking about, like switching characters and, like, doing this on a different character to get level up EXP for them, since they would be closer in level. But I think I just don't want to do that because, like, you know, the process would be slower, so that's why I do this on my main now. I'll say I used to do it on a different character, but I was like, you know what? I'll do it on my main instead. It's easier, so that's why I'm doing it here. So. Oh wow, I got quite a few today. I think like 22? That's a lot. From like 555, so. Also, there's technically no true accomplishment to doing this. It's kind of just there for, you know, convenience, I think. Well, not really. Because you could get, like, little, like, things here if you fill it all out. But it's pretty difficult to do that, so... Not many people, as far as I know, does this, so... I am one of the few, but I'm only doing it because, like a change of pace. And of course, I'm only doing this on Scania because I am not going to do this on any other world. Oh yeah, that's the thing. The monster collection is restricted per world, so that... Yeah, that's kind of disappointing. I will say, at least for the elite monster entries, they're actually pretty easy to get. Although getting the specific one to spawn is the difficult part. Well, the thing is with those is like, you either get them from the enemies themselves, where the chances are much greater, especially if you have the skill, the Link skill, maxed out. Or, alternatively, you get lucky with the monster blooms to get that entry filled in. Oh, this is taking a while. Yep. I think I actually was attempting this one last time, but it was taking so long that I gave up. That's the Rocky Mass. Oh, please give me the thing. There you go, finally. Oh, that took a bit. Yep, we got it. And next is the mummy dog? Mummy dog. Oh, that took a bit. Would it be easier out here, or I don't know. I think it'll be easier in here. I don't know. We'll get rid of this so we don't have this in the way. Oh, and we got it immediately. Okay. Okay, bosses that I can't specifically do. Let's see. What's next? Mushroom Knight armor, I guess? I don't know. So this. Oh dear. Alright, I forgot I could use this. Yep, this is a process, but worth it. Trying to think of what else to talk about. After I get some water. Oh yeah, I just remembered. So, in my previous stream, I brought up a game called Paranorma Site 7 Mysteries of Hanjo. I think that's the full name. And I did bring up I was watching this Let's Play of it. And I will say, the person who's doing the Let's Play is making the intros creepier. Because, oh, there we go. Because, like, obviously, like, Paranorma Site is a horror game. And, well, yeah, naturally, like, it is creepy. And the person I'm watching decided, you know what, let's make it creepier. And, the intros are, like, actually progressively getting creepy. Yeah. And I will say, Uh, it honestly, like, okay, like, and I noticed this too, like in the latest videos, like the latest videos are starting to actually get more ominous and like in the intros, and I actually got scared. To be honest, like I actually got terrified. Yeah, I actually got scared, and oh my gosh. Like I think in the latest video that the person uploaded in their playthrough, how do I put this? Like the latest video definitely got me a little bit. Like, okay, the previous video would like had a bit of a scare, naturally, because that's the intention. Like, I think the person's using the nightmare face from like a ghost, like earlier in the playthrough for it. But like, oh my gosh, it actually got me creeped out. It actually did. And even though I knew it was going to happen, it still got to me. Like, I had my glasses off, and I was trying to clean them, and then I saw the flash of the scare, and yeah, then it unsettled me. Okay, got another entry. But yeah, the person's making it creepy. Obviously intentional because it is a horror game they're playing. I cannot get over that though. Okay, so these two are next. Anyways, yeah. And also, in the latest video, they distorted their voice in the intro as well, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's... Gosh. And in a strange way, I'm actually interested to see how creepy that gets, like, throughout the playthrough as more progress is made. I am interested to see how much creepier it can get. But at the same time, I'm like, if I get scared, even while, like, knowing it's gonna happen, I don't even know how I can handle the rest. Obviously, like, one would say, oh, just skip it. But I like to see how scarier it can get, the scarier it... Yeah. Anyways. But yeah, it's pretty creepy. Intentionally, because it is a horror game they're playing, so. And also thinking about horror games, visual novels, I remind myself of one horror game that exists from like at least a decade ago, which is insane to think about. And I remember like being interested in it back then. But, like, now that I'm older and thinking back on it, it was not that great of a game. Like, actually, it was not that great. I will admit it has a lot of, like, endings, which are pretty clever. I would say it is pretty creepy in its own way because it relies heavily on audio to make things creepier and unnerving. But, it's actually not that great of a game. So I'll admit, it's not that great. Especially its, like, last game, as far as I remember, like, being released ever. Because it's a last game, if I remember correctly, its last game was released around 2014, 2015. I forgot which year. And, I think I know the biggest flaws that people have with the game, where I think it's the fact that, like, the character who's the main focus character in that game kind of just relied on people that they should not even, like, trust. Like, basically, it's like this person where, like, oh, I know how to help you resurrect the deceased. Basically, like, a part... I think that's also why. It's like, I will just say it. A big part of the story is about this character wanting to revive and bring back the memories of those who, like, died in this, like, not really alternate dimension, but, like, a separate dimension. And, well, there's a lot of things going on with that game that I don't even know where to begin. But, like, part of the story is that this character wants to revive their friends who died in this other place. And for some reason, they decide to trust this random stranger who, like, convinced her because, like, it's like, oh, I know your sister who, is this, like, you know, like, lost her life in the previous game. And somehow, I don't know why, like, I think, yeah, that's, like, the biggest flaw. It's like, why on earth did she trust this person at the person's word? Like, that is, like, so bad. And also, because she blindly followed this, like, person's advice, like, it led to so many people suffering from, like, an even worse fate because of her, like, carelessness. So I think that's, like, why the game was such a, you know, not that loved because of that. It's just, like, you just wonder why. Why did the character do that? Yeah, thinking about it now, it's like there's so many flaws with that game that you can't even count how many there are. And also, it's a last I checked, like, I think one of the official people, not really official people, but, like, one of the people who reviewed the game gave it a 29 out of 40. But I think some of the ratings were even lower than that, so I'm like, yeah, not that great. Oh, and also now that I think about that, like, so most people know about a game series called Drawn to Life, right? Well, it has a recent entry, which is like, Across Realms or something? I forgot what it's called. And, that entry, it's the third entry after, like, 11 years or something from next chapter. And it is really bad. I mean, like, I'm glad someone made a Let's Play on it because I watched it and I'm so glad I didn't get the game myself. And even the person who did a Let's Play on it, like, played the game. And, well, they had high expectations, and then, oh gosh, like, you could tell that they didn't like it so much by the end of the game. Like, it was that bad of a game. Like, honestly, I'll just say this now. The only good part is, like, Jowie proposing to, how is her name pronounced? Marie? I forgot the pronunciation. Mari? I forgot how to pronounce. Like, that's the only good thing of the game. Jowie proposing to her. Like, that was it. That was the only thing that's good about the game. Everything else is so bad. And also, it's like the fact that the game, like it really brought down its predecessors. Like, because like, the point of Drawn to Life is, like, you draw your creations to life, literally, in the game. And, and, like, basically, like, you use it for, like, you know, puzzles and all that. Like, to, like, go through levels and, you know, save the day. But, like, apparently, in the third entry, which is so bad, like, drawing in the game still exists, but it's very limited to just being there. It's not like you don't use, like, and like, the levels are so bad too. And very boring, to the point that when I was watching that Let's Play, I just skipped it. I just skipped watching those levels because they're so boring to watch. But yeah, like, could be improved by a lot. My gosh, the ratings were so low for that game too. Oh my gosh. They were very low. Anyways, like, that game aside, I really do love Drawn to Life. It has been part of me since, like, I was young. I think I played... When did I... I got Next Chapter, I think, like, I don't know when, but I got Next Chapter, like, Drawn to Life Next Chapter. I got both the Wii version and the DS version. Obviously, the Wii version is not that good. It's pretty nice, but the story is awful in that game. And, when I got the DS version, I got it before they actually changed the ending in that game. So yeah, I got the version with the, original, real, like, actual ending of the game. And I say that because, like, as people pointed out with that game, how do I put this? The original ending, you know what, I think I'm okay with saying spoilers about it because it's been like a decade and I don't think many people play it anymore. Or really know. But like the game, wish I could get this entry already, please, game. Anyways, as I was saying. So, like, in Drawn to Life, the Next Chapter, specifically the DS game. How do I put this? Okay, I'm trying to think. Okay, now I figured it out. So yeah, Drawn to Life Next Chapter, the version I got has the ending where... Which actually makes sense for the entire game, because the new one makes 0 sense at all. Oh, there you go. Anyways, so like, the ending, yes, this is spoilers I'm about to say. For Drawn to Life the Next Chapter on the Nintendo DS. So, in that game, basically the true ending of the ending of the game when it was originally released, like, depicts, like, images of, like, this family, Heather and Mike, who are both humans, and, like, with their family, they're leaving the carnival, like, and going home, but then a car, like, they got into a car accident, and which heavily implied to, you know, like, be fatal to the parents, and the kids lived, but Mike is put into a coma. And I basically, okay, putting aside the third game, because, oh gosh, it's a mess. Other than, like, it's complicated, but, okay, give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out. I didn't do the storyline, so I can't do this yet. No! Oh, wait, no, I can't do these. Never mind. I scratched that. Anyways, that's what I was saying. So, yeah, like, yeah, car crash happened. Yeah. Heather and Mike live. Heather got injured on one side of her face, which is why her Raposa counterpart had, like, the darkness. And Mike was put into a coma. And basically, the entire game is kind of like this separate dimension kind of thing, dream. Okay, not counting whatever the third game is about. It's like the separate, like, world. And basically, in the original ending, which I just explained, makes sense for the story because there's a lot of symbolism, and obviously it's meant to be based on around that particular ending. But apparently it was changed because people got scared of, like the people who reviewed the game got scared, which is why they changed it. But it's also kind of silly to think that because, like, you know, why? Game, please. I'm trying to click buttons. You know what? Let's go here. Anyways, as I was saying. And yeah, but basically, people who reviewed the game were, like, scared from it. Like, I wouldn't say scared, but, like, or I don't know, something. And that resulted in the ending being changed months later after the initial release. So, like, copies after that point released the game with a different ending, where, Mike just fell out of the tree, was knocked out, and recovered quickly, and in a completely different art style. And it's obviously that ending did not fit with the game at all, because, like, the entire game foreshadows to because the entirety of next chapter foreshadows to the coma, like, reveal more than that. So yeah. Yeah, so that's something about Drawn to Life, the next chapter, where they changed the ending because people who reviewed the game thought it was scary and completely missed the point of the symbolism. Probably they probably did know this, but it was scary. But, like, changing the ending was it didn't really work because of the fact that, like, well, the meaning is kind of lost, so, you know. Oh, and also the thing with both Drawn to Life and Drawn to Life the Next Chapter, both DS games, obviously, they both come with really beautiful songs, like, at the end of the game, both games. and I really, really like them. My gosh, I remember I listened to at least one of them recently. Actually, I listened to both recently. And they gave me so many feelings because I really love both themes so much. The first game is the song is literally called The End. And for the second game of the DS, the song is called Real Life, and I recommend checking them out. Like just Google Tron to Life ending theme, and it should pop up. Both are really, really good. And when people listen to it, it's like, I can't believe this is on the DS. Because it's really nice song. And honestly, listening to those songs kind of helped my mind relax from a lot of recent events. So, I really like that. I'm so tempted to hum the song, but also I don't know if I should just randomly do that on stream. Like, I'm fine with a little bit of singing, but I'm not sure if I just want to do that randomly on stream, so I'm like, I don't know. Also, I'm just remembering something. So this is kind of random, but I remember being on this one stream at some point where I'm watching someone react to a bunch of videos because, you know, the donation message stuff. And, my gosh, I don't know how to put it, but it was like back in 2021, I think, when I saw it. Where, like, one of the videos I reacted from someone who submitted it was creepy. Like, I don't know how to put it, but it was like disturbing and made my throat like want to like, bleh. Like from like watching it. I'm like, I will say the animation is pretty good because they did kind of get like the intention of what they're trying to portray in the story, but it was so gross at some points that I'm just like, why you do this? Yeah, I don't want to talk about that too much. It's like, it was so gross. I was just like, I will say that part of it is like, kind of like karma getting back at like the characters. Like, they do like the simple things that are like, you know, kind of like, which are, I guess, in a sense bad, but like not like dangerously bad. But the karma kind of came back to bite them. Literally later within the film. I guess it's called like a short film because it is kind of like acts like something you would watch in an animated like movie, but it's more like on the mature side. Nothing like explicit or anything, just more like in terms of like violence, because of like karma biting back. So, in other words, they clearly did not survive at the end, so that's what I'm trying to say. I don't want to think about it. I actually don't know what it was because I've seen this through a reaction. So the title, I think, was covered by the person's webcam, so I don't even know what it's called, so. Oh, I hate this process so much. I'm getting tired. Ah. This is such a slow process. I'm trying my best. I haven't gotten the entry yet. Hello, please add soon. Wait, it's not here. I'm trying to get this. Oh gosh, my legs. Ow. We have the dedication to keep doing this. I should have checked how long it would take typically. We are getting to higher levels, so of course the process is gonna slow down a bit. Oh, there we go. Completion stamp, even though it's useless for my high-level character. Well, except for probably finding locations to teleport to with ease. Yeah, for this character, I did so many quests on this character because I wanted to get all the medals for collection purposes. And, yeah, here we are. Also, this entire stream, and I haven't gotten 0.001% EXP increase. It has stayed at 61.846% EXP this entire stream. And I know that because I would know the value would change, like, if it did. There we go. Oh my gosh, that took a bit. Finally. Whole row. Oh, and Mickey. We're literally like a few feet away. Let's just go there. Okay, we're gonna go to the Rumo. Okay, let's go. Which one is it? I think this one. Yep, here we go. Got the Rumo. We can't do this one. I don't think I could do this one either. Or can I? Good question. Well, at least we don't have to have so much red in our eyes while doing this. It's not bad, but like, there's something about me staring into like colors on the red-orange spectrum that affect my eyesight so bad. Like if I like stare at it for too long and look away, everything just looks really weird. I don't know if that's the same for other people, but apparently it's the case for me. Which is why I prefer like having my eyes set on cold colors, like, you know, blues and greens, because that doesn't like mess with my eyesight like badly. Well, staring at any kind of color for like a really long time, like a very bright color would do that, but still. I don't know what that's called, like if it's a very specific thing. I had to look it up. can't wait for more, like, of the Maplestory story so much. I don't know. I think at this point, I probably just want more story to know if Nikki is still alive. I am very curious on, like, if he will be. Because, like, I have so much, like, you know, going on in my head of, like, what if that ends up happening? How do I put this? Like, a good example is, well, I wouldn't say example, but, how do I put this? Well, like, it kind of gives you, like, gets my mind thinking. Oh gosh. Ah! Because, like, okay, now that I think, okay, I have it in my head, now, what I'm gonna say. So basically, like, obviously, as you could all tell, I am very much hoping that, Nikki Engler, T-Boy, is alive and not actually deceased in the story. And part of my thought process is, like, what if he does show up, again in the future? But he's kind of like Kosim, where Kosim got, like, basically in Odium, it's revealed that Kosim, like, obviously Kosim was damaged in an explosion with their dad, Alter Engler. And if I'm right, like, the explosion, like, deactivated the hair and eye colors on Kosim. And Kosim purposely didn't want to get themselves fixed up because, you know, like, because if that happens, you know, like, Alter Engler would, like, find out and all that stuff. Okay, is it possible for me to grind this one enemy for the monster collection, or no? Okay, I don't think it is. Okay, we'll skip this enemy. Okay, we got... Oh, and I can anyway, because it has to be a very specific version. Oh, let's go check... What was that? I saw something. Oh no! Wait, could I do that? No, I can't. I can't do it on this character. Have to... Hopefully we have a character who's a high level, haven't done the quest, and can do, you know, the quest. Okay. Because, why is there an entry specifically for that one? No. Anyways, as I was saying, so, like, one thing I think about, like, under the belief that Nikki is still alive and, you know, like, it's kind of related to what I'm thinking about related to, Kosim. Where, like, if, okay, this is worthless. Okay, I'm gonna change location. Okay, new plan. Anyways, like, so, like, because they like Kosim, like, doesn't want to get, you know, like, to be completely repaired because, you know, their dad would, you know, could control them again and all that. And, obviously, like, it kind of makes, not really obviously, but it sort of makes me think for, Nikki, like, if he's still alive, what if he's in a similar situation as Kosim, where we're reintroduced to Nikki, and and he has like the his original like because apparently we find out that the hair and eye color, the specifics of it, come from whatever they were implanted with when they were converted into androids. Or like cyborgs in this case. I think Laha is an android specifically, and Senya, Nikki, and Kozim are more cyborg. Because I think, if I remember correctly, Laha pointed out that she was like completely converted into an android while her other siblings are not. So, and basically I just kind of like think like, what if just like Kozim, Nikki's hair and eye color like revert back to whatever the colors were, and you know, we get to see what he looks like originally. Like, I'm assuming that the blue hair, pink eye is through experimentation, so, yeah. I'm trying to figure out where to go. I apologize if I'm taking so much time. Okay, Aqua Road is where we're going. Anyways, like, also, like, yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, if Nikki reappears in the story, it would involve, like, you know, us seeing, like, his original, like, hair and eye color. If, I think it's, Kozim's, like, gray hair and red eyes are the original, like, traits, right? I think so. I think that's, like, the impression. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like this map. Anyways, this is what I was saying. Like, yeah, so if Nikki reappears, I wonder what his, like, original hair and eye color are gonna be. Like, that's what I think. It's like, if he's, like, ends up being alive, like, he, again, similar situation to Kozim, where his, like, hair and eye color are, like, not the blue and pink, that we first see him in. It's making me think, because I feel like it's possible. You know? Yeah, I just think about this a lot. I mean, it makes me so curious. Like, I would love to see that. And it wouldn't make sense, because, like, you know, like in Odium, like, they didn't bother getting, you know, recovering his body. And also the fact that we don't see the body, like, he clearly has to be alive. I mean, what else is there? And it makes me think, it's like, what if he's like Kozim? You know, they couldn't track down Kozim, right? Like, because Kozim purposely didn't want the rest of their body to be, like, fixed up. So, if you think about it like that, then the same thing must have happened with Nikki. So, through this logic, I propose that he is still alive. Why do I have a feeling that later down the line, I'm gonna be that one person who plays Maplestory, known for saying this so many times. Imagine if it's not true, and then I'm just known for probably, like, being, like, the most on, like, coping, like, with this theory. I hope not. Please not. Please no. but the possibility is 100% there, and I love it. Right. Yeah, both of the squids should be like. Yeah, they please. Yes, the progress of trying to figure out what I'm doing. Gosh, there's so many of these things in the map. There's so many. I want to get these earrings. I get rid of this thing. I don't know. Now I'm thinking about the theory again, and I'm just like, oh, please have more stories so we can know if Nikki's still alive. It is so likely. Okay, let's see. Yeah, this takes a while. Yeah, this for these enemies, it's pretty difficult to get it, and I don't know why. Like, I've done this already before, and I didn't even get the entries except for one. So I'm like, what are the chances? It's already a low 100 too, so yeah, it's even more difficult. Oh, I just reminded myself. I gotta watch a playthrough on like Fire Emblem Engage. Like I did, but I want to watch a different playthrough now. And the DLCs are already all released. But not just that, I also had to catch up with Xenoblade. So many Let's Plays. I think that's a bit of a struggle with Xenoblade is that the games are so massive that it's so hard to catch up. Oh, I'm now getting 0.001% EXP after all this trouble. We have achieved greatness in our EXP progress. Anyways. I feel like giving up. I try to get for one enemy. I don't know. Okay. These particular enemies are annoying to get the entry, apparently. Like, seriously, I've been here longer than anything, like, today, so... Should I change things? I don't think changing things would be good. How did I get the Rumo faster than this? I know the level thing, but like, there's not much of a level difference, so it's like, these are just that annoying. Also, I'm getting close to time, so I'll probably end it soon anyway, because... I could probably keep doing this on my own time. I do have things to do, so I should not, like, just do that all day. Okay, please. At least one of them. The reason why I like the ones that are floating all over the place are easier to get is because there's so many of them. That's why getting the entry is so much easier. But everything else is a completely different story. I still don't have the entry and it's been like 10 minutes. How long has it been since I started this? Well, I'll probably find out when I check the VOD, but I'm pretty sure it's been so long. It's like anything past level 100 is like 10 times more difficult to get. How many do I have now? 586, that's actually quite a lot this stream. Yep. Let's see. Wait, did I? Oh, I did get the boss. Oh, okay. It's true. No, thanks. I have no idea how long I've been in this map now. Okay, I'm definitely convinced that enemies above level 100 are more difficult to get their thing, but I swear it was so much easier with the flying, like, enemies in this map. Gobbies? Goobies? What are they called? Pronunciation? Yeah, whatever. None of the characters in this game say it anyway. I feel like giving up on this map and trying something else. I want to keep going. I want to see if I could still get it. Also, now that I think about it, okay, Okay, so like when Odium was released, or rather before it, I was kind of like thinking that Laha's name would be different in global, but I was surprised to see it was the same because I just found her name unusual to pronounce because, you know, it's Laha spelling. So I'm like, that's... It kind of messes with the tongue a little bit when trying to pronounce her name. It's not really too difficult, but it just like, you have to put so much emphasis on like the... whatever words are, pronunciation, so... Please give me the entry. And also, before anyone asks, I do have the skill. I have the level 6 version, so it's the plus 35% chance. And apparently that chance is acting like it's non-existent. I've been here for like 20 minutes now, I think. Even longer than the other enemies. I'm convinced it just has to do with these enemies. A rune has appeared. That's not what I want. Just spawn, please, game. Yep, I've been here so long that I probably used the rune initially. Why is this what is this? Why does the cape look like that? Oh, the bonus potential. Oh no! So this is an archer cape, so dexterity is a good priority skill. But, oh no. The bonus potential in that poor item is all luck. Wow, I've been here so long, the burning stage changed. Okay, I give up. I don't want to fight in this map anymore. I've been doing this for like 10 minutes. It should be easier because they're like, well, you know, entries I could get, but apparently it doesn't like me. Okay, different map, probably. Although I feel like these are a little too high level for me. Oh, this one is the annoying entry because there's only a few of these specific ones. If I'm right, these entries are based on like you have to fight the enemies with the exact same name. So, and yeah, that's not easy. I am missing one, but it's like a very specific Kadena quest one. Where is this enemy? Oh yeah, and Continental Grandis. Arma's follower. What? What? Okay, I got that at some point. Friend story, but I don't want to do that right now. I have to go all the way there. I could try Minar Forest? I could try that for a little bit. No, I pressed the wrong button. I clicked the wrong area. I had to wait 10 seconds. Okay, stretch. Yeah, since I'm basically filling out all these entries already, got so many. It's not easy to get more because I'm reaching the limit of how I get these. So I think these ones, which is a surprise considering. Like, how did I not get this one yet? What? What is... Feels... What? Okay, that's strange. I don't remember that ever in the game, so what? So, although now that I'm thinking about it, I should probably just like end it soon anyway, because as I literally did say, I do have things to do. I kind of want to go on a bit longer to see if I could get one more Monster Collection entry. So, okay, maybe within the next 10 minutes, if I don't get something, I'll end the stream. Although, I don't know what else to talk about. Yeah, I think just above level 100, it's just more trickier to do. Everything below level 100 is at least, like, in a way, like, easier, but, like, yeah. Yes, this might be the last kind of stream for a while, unless I am dedicated to annoy myself for, like, probably, like, several hours doing this. I don't know. I think after the stream, I gotta check up how the whole monster collection works again, so I have an idea for like the level 100 plus enemies. Although I think I'm already reached my limit because I cannot think anymore, and my brain is like fried like a potato. So I probably should stop here. Like, I could keep going, like, after my stream, but I think I'm good enough for now. Throat. For now. Yeah, I think I'll end it here. As much as I want to keep going, I think I'll end it here. So I'm gonna go somewhere else. Oh, there's people here. Which chair do I want to sit in? I guess this one. This one's cute. Yeah, I think I'll end it here. I'm kind of reached my limit doing this. But, yeah. I can make more progress on my own time, so it's okay. So, yeah, that is all for today's stream. Pretty much just another day of collecting more entries of the monster collection. And I did get a lot. I started off with 555 at the beginning of the stream. And I got about, like, 31 new entries added. So, okay, I just saw a weird stream notification. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I got quite a few entries. Like all the ones here, more here. Apparently, I got this at some point. Like at least like one here. More of the things here. What else? Oh yeah, that's why trying to get this thing took so, like, couldn't happen because it took so long. And like some entries here. And that's it for the stream. Like, that's all I got during the stream. Like, just those entries. Yeah, so that's all the progress I've made. Well, apparently these guys are entries as well? Interesting. Oh, these are the ones in the area where Kane's story is. Ah, I didn't think of that. That's okay. Oh wow, you specifically had to get these characters during the story. I think. Anyways, I'll worry about that on my own time. But yeah, I made progress. And I guess, like, it's also good to try to get progress so I could get the last available thing here. Also, speaking of which, I should probably try doing this. Okay. Oh, and see... Okay, no new medals available to me. Unfortunate, but that is fine. I'm so annoyed I can't get the stupid entries. Anyways, it's fine. It's fine. But yeah, yeah, that'll be all for today. So next time, I don't know when will be the next Maplestory stream, but my next couple streams will be Genshin Impact, so that's what I'll be doing next week. And if anything else happens, well, I'll let you guys know for the most part. So keep an eye out for that. And that's it. So anyway, thank you all for watching. And I'll see you all next time.